Good evening and welcome to our Wednesday evening video here at Park Street Christian Church in El Dorado Springs, Missouri. It is Wednesday the 10th of February 2021. I want to share tonight about the key to overcoming busyness. And as I share this with you, I had to first share it with myself. So there's a lesson to be learned. But there's an epidemic, I feel like, that's rampant throughout our society and culture today. And no part of our country is immune from this plague. And I'm not talking about the COVID-19 pandemic. I mean, little children suffer from this as well as the elderly and all those in between. There's no quick cure, no vaccine, and many people never recover from it. It breaks up homes, incapacitates people, contributes to many other diseases. It's the epidemic of busyness. We live in a busy society. Never has there been so many choices concerning what to do or so many pressures that stem from our schedules. Even our youngest are not immune. One of the concerns of the media in America the last few years has been about the grueling schedules of children whose parents have enrolled them in so many special activities and events that they seem to have lost their childhood. Nancy Leigh DeMoss shared about a women's conference one weekend that she taught in when she asked a particular seminar group of ladies, she asked those in attendance, where does God find you right now as part of this weekend? Where does God find you right now this weekend as we start this session together? And here's what some of the ladies said in response. I feel out of control sometimes with so many pressures. I face too much stress and responsibility. I often get overly busy and find my day gone without having done the things I most wanted to do. I've left a whirlwind at home and need a renewed spirit to face all those things I've got to get done in the weeks to come. I want to slow down, one woman said. I feel as if I'm on a speeding treadmill, and if I try to jump off, I'm going to stumble and fall. My busyness has robbed me of my joy, more than one woman responded. Though our generation seems to have perfected busyness, it's not a problem unique to our day, however. American church reformer Alexander Campbell wrote 150 years ago, this present age is not an age given to devotion. Men have not the time to meditate, to pray, to examine themselves. They have too many newspapers to read, too many political questions to discuss, too much business to transact. Now, I wonder what he'd say today, 150 years later. I mean, it sounds like it was written earlier today, you know. Christian author Philip Patterson wrote, historian Will Durant once observed that no man who is in a hurry is quite civilized. You need only observe human behavior on a crowded freeway or on a rush hour subway station to agree with that. But I'm more concerned with the possibility that no one who is constantly in a hurry can be fully Christian either. How do I balance the demands of a Christian life with the command to be still? That's my concern as a church leader. In an age known for busyness, how can Christians live countercultural? In the midst of a hectic lifestyle, can we learn to wait on the Lord? Is it possible that even while serving God, we can miss the joy of intimacy with Christ? I think we have all become Martha, busy in the kitchen, fixing a meal for Jesus while missing out on the joy of sitting at his feet. In Luke chapter 10, we find these words. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, they came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to Jesus and asked, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. Martha, Martha, Jesus answered, you're worried and upset by many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen what's better, and it will not be taken away from her. That's in Luke 10, verses 38 to 42. And I got to be honest with you, most of us identify with Martha more than Mary. I do. We'd rather be up doing something for Jesus than simply sitting at his feet. That mindset directs us into a busy lifestyle that often leads to exhaustion and burnout. Now, please hear me tonight. Understand that serving Jesus is good. It's very desirable. It's a worthy thing to devote one's life to. Okay? But serving has to be balanced with sitting at Jesus' feet, spending time with our Lord in loving intimacy, waiting upon him, or you find out the well is dry and you don't have anything to pump out of it. You remember the words of Jesus to Martha as she complained about her sister's lack of help? He told her, and I think you and I, that only one thing is needed. Only one thing. Can you imagine that? In our busy world today, someone comes along and tells us there's only one essential thing that must be done. That's almost hard to take. Yet how freeing it is when we realize it's our Lord and Master who's speaking to us with his perfect wisdom as he says to us today, only one thing's needed. Only one thing, and that's to sit at my feet, to enjoy my presence, to hear my voice. Now, I want to be clear. Understand the solution to business is not being lazy. It's not shirking of responsibilities or giving of oneself to only recreation in life. But it is to put first what Jesus said is first. It's realignment of our priorities in which we put the one thing that's needed at the very center of our lives, allowing everything to flow from that. Jesus must be the core, the hub that everything in our life revolves around, not just one of the spokes on the wheel. So we've got to learn to sit at Jesus' feet more and find rest. The rest of our day is a lot more orderly and less hectic. Rather than trying to accomplish everything we think we need to do during the day, we listen to his still small voice directing us to do what first comes from him. Jesus modeled that lifestyle for us. He said in John chapter 4, verse 34, "My food is to do the will of him who sent me to finish his work." He set about doing the will of the Father with dogged determination, but he never let a hectic, busy, out of control lifestyle get in the way. You never see Jesus in a hurry. And at the end of a remarkable life, with just over 3 years of public ministry, he was able to say, "It is finished. It's finished." Jesus gave us the key to accomplishing all the Father has given him to do in John 14:10, when he said, "The words I say to you are not just my own, rather it's the Father living in me who is doing his work." So Jesus, as he walked in close intimacy with his Father, he was able to focus only on that which was needed, not be distracted by the tremendous needs around him. Jesus did not heal every person around him who needed to be healed. I'm quite confident. He didn't feed every single person who had to be fed. So Jesus teaches us that we must put first things first. Now, don't make a mistake here. We do that. We just often have the wrong things first. Okay? So we need to sit at his feet first of all, and then we'll be ready to serve and to serve better. There's a cure for busyness. It's found as we develop a life of intimacy with Christ. And I'm finding myself more and more longing for those times. I need those times desperately in this busy, busy age. You have a blessed night.